Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Reads. How have you guys been doing? We are here for an October wrap up. I dedicated October to reading thriller mystery novels, so that's pretty much what I have to show you guys. I enjoyed my October reading month. I feel like I learned a lot about myself as a reader. I do have more books than I expected that I have not talked to you guys about in videos, so we do have some things to discuss. So I'm just gonna get right on into it, because I'm gonna be honest with you, wrap-up videos are my least favorite videos to film. Not because I know you guys enjoy them, because you're able to not have to watch all the vlogs, you're able to just hear what I think about books. The thing about wrap-up videos is you have to remember every single thing that happened in the book, and that can be hard trying to recall everything, because I'm on to November now. I already got new faves, so let's get on into it. The first book I want to talk about is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. Earlier this year I read The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead and did not enjoy it, so it was really hard for me to want to get into this book, but I knew I wanted to in October, and that is what I did. In this book, we are following a group of people who are in their 30s now, who went to college together, and they are back together for their college reunion, homecoming type thing. But the problem is, one friend in their friend group died when they were in college, and there's some mystery surrounding her death, and her brother has showed up to this reunion to get to the root of it, because he thinks someone from their college friend group is the reason why she died. I am giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. I am a character girl. I have learned that about myself really in the last half of this year. I am characters all the way. You have to give me believable, interesting characters. And the problem with this book is these characters are not real people. This book does this thing where I think only happens in cheap thrillers or cheap mysteries or cheap suspense novels, where your characters are faced with a situation. They can do one thing, or they can do another, or they can do nothing at all. And they always do the most bizarre thing. So, for example, in this book, there is a sorority type of competition where you can become head of your sorority, head of all the sororities. And so a girl in this friend group, she wants to become the homecoming queen. She wants to become the sorority queen. But the girl who's dead is the person who's actually going to win. So instead of being oh, I'm just going to let her win, or oh, I'm going to, stuff the ballots, I'm going to get the outcome changed, she drugs the girl. And that happens multiple times in this book. Instead of doing the going down the path of least resistance, going down the path of least dumb, the characters in this book do the most bizarre things to fix a really small problem. And so it causes drama, and it causes all types of chaos, and I can't get down with it, because I'm people don't act this way. People, even when you get to the final mystery of this book, it's just people don't do this. What you're upset about does not warrant what you are about to do. And so I couldn't fully get on board, because I found it to be silly. I'm sorry, I don't like when characters act silly. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. Let's move on to They Never Learn, another book that I gave 3 out of 5 stars, 3.5. In this book, we have a teacher. She has decided she is going to take justice in her own hand, and she is going to kill people who sexually assault women on the college campus that she works at. We also have another character. She is a student at this college, and she is dealing with, trying to fit in. It doesn't come from money, but the people around her do come from money, and she's just trying to, fit in at college. And so that starts They Never Learn. This book was perfectly fine. I think this is a popcorn thriller. I think you can have a good time reading this book. I know some people really like this book. For me, once again, I felt like these characters are book characters. I want to read characters that feel real, that feel like real people that I can not relate to, because it's not necessarily I need to relate to characters. I want to believe that this hits on some universal truth in a way. And so when I get hit with characters that I feel like are book characters that are put into a book to just exist in this specific book, and they can't exist in any other book because they're absolutely ridiculous, I don't enjoy it. And that's what this book was. I found the plot to be silly. I found the circumstances to be silly. So I couldn't fully get into it, but I did enjoy my reading time. It's not like I hated this book. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I read that book on Halloween. What fun. The next thing we have is a deadly inside scoop. In this book, we are following this girl who has inherited this ice cream shop from her grandparents. And there's this guy that comes by. She gets to chit chat with him. And she finds out that this guy tried to rob their family of their business and their money back in the day. Well, this same guy ends up dead. He ends up dead and no one knows how this guy died. But it's our character who finds him dead. And so her father is being kind of accused of doing the killing because of what happened with their family in the past. So she has decided to set out on this sleuthing journey to, show that her daddy did not kill this man and somebody else did. I give this book 2.5, 3 stars. I said I was going to finish this series. If you can't see, it's way over here. I have the 2 books for this. I don't think I'm going to finish this series. I think I'm going to unhaul this entire series. I think I am done trying to make cozy anything work for me. I am not the cozy girl. I like deep, thick, salacious, juicy, mysterious plots. I do. I love the drama. I love it. That's what I love. Therefore, cozy doesn't work with me. I like my characters to go through some shit. I like for them to go through some shit. I want real. I want gritty. I want grimy. And cozy don't do that for me. I'm not the cozy girl, which is crazy because I would consider myself a cozy girl. But I just think that's not true. I read cozy books and want to shoot myself. I am so damn bored. I end up staring at the wall because I am so bored. So cozy is not for me, and I'm letting it go because this book was not for me. Let's move on to, speaking of cozy, I wouldn't call these cozy mysteries. I would call these just regular degular mysteries. But we have A Fatal Glow and A Shimmer of Red. Both of these books are in the same series, and that series is about Odessa Jones. I'm trying to remember what the first book was called. The first book was called A Glimmer of Death. So in this series, you are following this black woman who works at a real estate agency because the business she used to own with her husband went under and they lost a bunch of money. Her husband died. And so now she works at this seedy ass real estate agency where people have been dying. And so the thing about her is she can sense death. This is like a magical realism type thing. She can sense death. She has this glimmer. She can tell when someone or something is about to die. And people around her be dying and she be solving them. I like this series. I said in my video I wasn't going to read the next books, but I think I'm lying. I like this. This might be the only mystery series that I indulge in. I enjoy this series. I think they don't really go down. I feel like the crimes are a little bit more grimy. I think this is more realistic mysteries. They're not, for someone to have 3 books and this is the third, this is second and third book, it ain't that realistic. Nobody got people who drop dead like that around them. But the way she goes about solving the murders, why the people who do the murders, there's something about it that's grounded that I enjoy. So I gave A Fatal Glow 4 stars, and I gave this one 3 stars. I did not like A Shimmer of Red. I really didn't like it at all, but I do see potential. I just think this was an outlier because I enjoyed the first 2, and this one really wasn't for me. But if I don't know if I will physically get my hands on it, but I do think I will maybe Kindle them or something. I'm okay with that series. Let's move on to some B.A. Paris. So I started my reading month by deciding I wanted to get through my entire B.A. Paris collection in my library. And so I read 3 B.A. Paris books. Let's just talk about it. So first, the most forgettable one is Bring Me Back. In this book, we are following a man and his new wife. Well, are they married? Yeah, a man and his girlfriend or wife, whatever. And they start receiving notes from said man's ex-wife because said man's ex-wife is the sister of now his current wife. And they receive notes that have you believe that maybe she is not dead like they thought she was. She's been declared missing, but she's been missing for so long, everybody thinks she's dead. And so they start receiving notes that make both of them believe she is still alive. And in this book, we are dealing with the wife. We have a wife POV, and we're dealing with the husband POV, because the husband is going back in time and telling us what probably could have led to the wife missing. Did he kill it? Is she missing? Is she dead? What's going on? I think we have a wife POV. Can't even remember. Like I said, forgettable. This book is forgettable at best. And then the ending of this book is so bad. The ending of this book is so bad. B.A. Paris, I don't know what happened here. This is not good. I give this book 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was boring. Then you get to what's going on, because that's what kept me there. I did want to know if this lady was alive or not. Like, what the hell is going on? Then when you do, it's like, ooh, I wasted my time. Ooh, I wasted my time. So no on that one. Now, the next one we have is The Dilemma by B.A. Paris. This is not a mystery or thriller novel. I don't know what I thought this was, but this is not a mystery or thriller novel. This to me is just a regular fiction type of book. In this book, we are following a wife and we are following a husband. And we get POVs from both of them. Both of them are keeping secrets from each other. It's the wife's birthday and she is throwing this big birthday party, but things have happened leading up to the birthday that has both the wife and the husband keeping secrets about each other. And that's what the dilemma is. They're trying to figure out when they both should drop these bombshells on each other. And you're just in both of their minds as they're going back and forth on how they should approach the situation and revealing a secret that both of them have. This book is really, really interesting. And it's also really, I'm surprised B.A. Paris went down this route, because this is a very, very hard story to tell. And I do think there's some nuances in this book that B.A. Paris does really well. But I think what gets lost in this book is execution. I don't think the execution, the finesse needed to tell this story, B.A. Paris put into it. Because something about this almost feels like a case study into marriage, relationships, and what you should tell your partner, what you shouldn't, and secrets, and the secrets we all keep from people, and how do you tell these secrets. When you're reading this book, you ask yourself a lot of questions, like, what would you do in this situation? How would you handle this situation? But I do think along the way, this becomes, it becomes a little long, and it's not as quick as I think it needs to be. And I also don't think it's as interesting as it needs to be. One person's secret is really, really terrible. And another person's secret is like bad, but only bad in relation to like the other person not having a secret. Because the husband's secret is so bad and it's going to ruin their life, the wife's secret just doesn't seem to hold up. But if the husband didn't have a secret, then her secret would be pretty juicy. But because his secret is so like, what the fuck? You're just like, and me saying that makes you want to know what their secrets are. Go read it to find out. But that is The Dilemma. And I'm going to give this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. The Prisoner. This is B.A. Paris' latest book. This is B.A. Paris' latest book, I believe. And in this book, we are following a wife and husband who get snatched up off the street and held for ransom. And we go back in time to figure out why they ass is being held for ransom and how the hell they gonna get out and who the people who got them. This book was fine. This book was fine. It was your basic. You want to know what? B.A. Paris does really, really good at writing just people, interesting characters, and interesting situations. I think B.A. Paris has this thing some people like, some people don't. Where like B.A. Paris books, I keep saying Paris's, B.A. Paris books just fizzle out. Like there's never a huge like boom moment. They just kind of fizzle out. They just kind of fizzle away. Sometimes I appreciate it, sometimes I don't. And this book, I did want a little bit more slap you in the face. But I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoyed the ride in this one. 3 out of 5 stars. But I do not necessarily think I need to pick up any more B.A. Paris without hearing that other people liked it. For example, I'm like that with Riley Sager. I do not want to just pick up a Riley Sager book unless people I trust tell me Riley Sager book is good. That's where I am. And I think I'm going to put B.A. Paris also in that number. Like, if I hear people saying they enjoyed it, I'll get it. But I haven't heard nothing about any of these books before, so therefore I probably didn't have to read them. But I did, and that's that on that. Let's get into a 5-star read. Can we get into a 5-star read? Can we get into a 5-star read? Confessions by Kanani Minato. In this book, we are following a school teacher, and she is discussing how 2 students in her class did something to her, and she wants to get revenge out on them. And from that, we follow the people who are a part of her revenge scheme and what has become of them. I'm trying to be vague because I really just think you should pick this bad boy. She's short. This book was so brilliant. This book was so damn brilliant. I loved every single moment of it. One of my favorite books that I read this year, that I read last month. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. Kept me on my toes, kept me guessing. And it really has this interesting conversation about perspective, this interesting conversation about revenge. What would you do to get back at people? What people deserve revenge? How should you be an agent in your own destiny? It has conversation about that. And if someone wrongs you, should you wrong other people? And if everyone is just dealing with their own trauma, how much can we hold them accountable for the terrible things that they do to other people? It has some really interesting conversations about all of those things, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. Loved it for it. Let's get into the Sorority Murders. In this book, we are following a guy who's starting a podcast because he wants to solve the murder of a girl who died from the sorority at his college campus. Well, he goes and finds this U.S. Marshal. She is retired. She has her own storyline. Her son died, and he wants to bring her in because he believes she can give some information into how to solve this murder. So this podcast is basically going, they're bringing up the facts, and basically they want people to call in to be like, because the podcast is only going out to people at the school and people surrounding. He wants them to call in to say if they saw this girl, they're just trying to solve this murder. I loved it. I loved it. And the only thing I did not love about this book is the ending. So I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, maybe 4 out of 5 stars. I love this book. It had everything I love. A bizarre thing about me is I like podcasting books. It don't seem like something I would like, but I do. It had a podcast element. It had detective elements. Y'all know I love a detective story. We had multiple POVs. It was just really, really good. The main characters had their own little secrets, their own reasons for wanting to look into the murder. I enjoyed it. The next book we have is My Sister, the Serial Killer. In this book, we are following a woman whose sister is a serial killer, and she constantly kills her boyfriends, and our main character has to constantly cover up the fact that her sister did this killing. Her sister's always calling her in and being like, girl, I just killed somebody. Let's wrap this up. Let's clean this up. I really enjoyed this book. This book had interesting things to say about family dynamics, sister dynamics, and what you owe the people around you. What is loyalty? What is family loyalty? And how loyal should you stay to family? 4 out of 5 stars. This book was way more interesting than I expected this book to be. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's get into the Ruth Ware section of this video. I read 3 Ruth Ware books. You can go watch the vlog. The first one is The Woman in Cabin 10. This woman is going on a cruise for her job, and when she gets there, she thinks she witnesses somebody murder. She thinks she witnessed someone throwing a dead body over the cruise ship. And that starts this story because she's going around, she's telling everybody somebody in cabin 10 done killed somebody and threw them over the balcony, and everybody's like, there is no woman in cabin 10, baby, you made that up. And so she's like, no, I saw the woman, I met the woman, what's going on? And so that starts our story. Is there a woman in cabin 10? Did someone die? And what does that have to do with our main character? This book is silly. This book is silly. Like, it's silly. To me, the worst thing you can be in a thriller mystery novel, to me, is silly. It's not even boring. It's silly. This was silly. This was ridiculous. I don't see how this is the thing that really like put Ruth Ware on the map. but it is, and I did not enjoy it. We move on to The Lying Game. In this book, we have a group of friends who are in college, and basically they are all coming back together because something they did in the past is being uncovered, and so they trying to figure out how they cover up that thing they did in the past. And in this book, we're going back in time to this boarding school that all of them was at to figure out what did they do that they now have to cover up. God, I love the characters in this book. I loved the characters in this book. I love the dialogue that they were having. This is a very slow book. I do not think it's for everyone. It is a very slow book. You're really getting to know this character. It doesn't have a lot of big moments, but it has twists. It has turns. I enjoyed this book. I gave this book 3.54 stars. I thought this was a nice, fun ride, and it really was like, okay, I can give Ruth Ware a chance. My favorite Ruth Ware. I don't think Ruth Ware is going to be able to trump this for me with her. The It Girl. I cannot believe people didn't like this book. I cannot believe people did not like this book. In this book, we are following a woman who just got word that the man she put in jail for killing her best friend just died. And that opens up a can of worms because she's just like, what if he didn't do it? What if he didn't do it? What if this man who has claimed he was innocent the entire time did not kill my best friend and I just made that shit up? And so she starts her own, like, let me look into it. And she's not really, I wouldn't say she's sleuthing. I would just think she's going back and trying to remember the facts. She's trying to remember the facts and trying to figure out, could she have missed something? And through this, we go back in time to when they all were at Oxford together and what led to her murder. And then we're in the current time to see what all of these friends who were at Oxford, what are they up to now? 4.5 out of 5 stars. This book was good. Now, like I said, not for everyone, because baby, this hoe is long. This hoe is long. We almost cutting out at 500 pages. But if you're willing to put in the time, because here's the thing. Most people don't read the way I read. Kenya is going to pick up a book every single day and try to read for a couple hours. That is me. So therefore, I don't like long books because I don't want to spend too much time reading one book. But most people who watch this video, you guys read like 1-2 books a month, maybe not at all, whatever. Or you spend 3 months reading one book, and I ain't judging. Do as long as we reading, right? So I feel like if a book is kind of long, a long thriller, like, who cares if it's long? Like, it can take you all year. You don't give a damn. Kenya wants to read a bunch of books. That's why I care. But if you're somebody who just wants to read, I say give this a go. Let this be your 2024 book that you read. I don't think you'll regret it. I think you'll have a fun time. So anyways, 2 books that I didn't do for videos. Book club, the Lily Reed book club is still alive and thriving. We have a blast over there. We have Play to Win this month. But for October, we read Whiffful Thinking. This book is about a bunch of people who live in this like Halloween town type of town. Everything is magical. And we have Lucy, who is our main character. She is a witch. And basically, she kind of had a boyfriend. She had a situationship back in high school, but he went away because he's a mermaid and the ocean was calling him. He had to go. And he has come back in town because his parents bought him a house and it's a whole thing. His engagement got broken up. He's not getting married anymore. So he's back in town. And he has gotten back in touch with Lucy. Lucy made this wish with her other witch family, her sister and her cousin. She was like, I want my life to be exciting. When she makes this wish, a bunch of stuff starts happening in her life. Alex coming back and other things that make her life more exciting. So she's trying to decide, should she be the exciting Lucy she wants to be, or should she go back to kind of, living a dull and boring life? My issue with this book, many things in this book just don't make sense. I think this book has something's off with the editing of this book. There's moments in this book where you'll read a scene more than once because you're like, this don't make sense. Like, what? You're telling me 2 + 2 = potato. Like, something was off. I enjoyed this book in the first half, but then the other half of this book, I didn't understand what was going on between Lucy and Alex. They weren't communicating to each other, but we were acting like they were. There were scenes in this book that are really bizarre. They don't make any sense. Characters come in, characters come out. Characters do things just for a scene, and then it doesn't matter later on that they did it for a scene. So there are moments in this book that are really good. There is a sequel that I will be picking up. So I say all to say, there's a sequel I'm picking up, but something was off about this book, and I can see why a lot of people would DNF this book, but I, for my book club, made it through, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Last book. Reading challenge, check. I'm still doing my reading challenge books because once a month, me and a goal. I read Love and Marriage. It's Love Marriage. It's not Love and Marriage. It's Love Marriage by Monica Ali. Okay. If this book was not for my book challenge, I would have DNF'd it. And then there were times where it was for my book challenge and I still wanted to DNF it. This book is so damn long. So in this book, the synopsis is actually a fun synopsis. I didn't know what this book was going into it. In this book, we are following two characters. They are getting married. But one of them is a sex addict, the man Joe. He's a sex addict and he's going to therapy and he's been cheating on our main character even though they get married. Both of them are doctors and basically they're dealing with their marriage, love marriage, and they're also dealing with the issues they have at home. Joe's dealing with stuff with his mom. His mom is this famous feminist writer and he has his own issues with her. She's dealing with her strict Muslim upbringing, how she was kind of sheltered from sex, relationships, and all that, and how that has made her into kind of a jaded adult, maybe not a full adult. And it's that. That's what this book is about. The best part about this book is Joe and his therapist. The sections about the husband and the therapy and him working through his sex addiction and him cheating on his wife and his mother are really, really interesting. The problem is that's not most of the book, and you're just dealing with the main character of this book, Yasmin. And boy, can this book get boring. This book can get boring. I'm not going to rate this book because I don't think I'm adult enough to appreciate this type of book. This book is for somebody, but this book is not for me. Following these people for almost 400 pages, as they just go from thing to thing, doing this and this. And then I don't like books that make big declarations about life or big declarations about marriage, relationship. I don't like that. I like books that are subtle, that are a lot more subtle. And this book is written to win awards. I don't like books that feel like they are written to win awards. I want books that almost the beauty is in the subtlety of it. Like, if you read it, you get why it should win awards, but it's not. You can also see why a lot of people wouldn't get it. This book, you know exactly what this book is trying to do. It's trying to show the complexity of love and marriage. And so some of the stuff in this book just feels like, sure, yeah, that's about time this person should die. That's about time this person's marriage should do this. This is about time we learn that the mother been through this, the father been through this. Oh, the mother's a lesbian. Yeah, I could have seen that coming. Like, it's just obvious. It's a little too obvious. And everything that happens to the characters don't feel natural. It doesn't feel natural. And so I didn't fully enjoy it. But I think some people would. I don't know. Let me pick up all the books that I read this month because boy, was it a lot. I got to hold it up quick because this is going to fall. These are all the books. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.